This is the Nightwolf howling at you, and today we're going to take a look at the Turtles of Grayskull He-Man figure, the most powerful mutant in the universe. Something to note on this package is that because it's the villain side, they actually have the Shredder and Skeletor on it instead of Leonardo and He-Man. So that's cool. I like when they do those kind of little changes. As we turn it around, we see on the back, we see Shredder's version of a slime pit. I hope they make, I still want to see the regular Horde slime pit, but I hope they make that one too, because that's awesome. Although, it makes it look like Shredder himself is drooling all over everything. But hey. What happens when the most powerful man in the universe is doused with a mutagenic ooze from another dimension? Nothing good. With He-Man now a mindless pawn in Skeletor's hands, will this be the end of Eternia? Dun dun dun. And of course, we have the standard cross-sell on the back with the little twist into powerful battle positions. And we see that Leonardo, the heroic ninja turtle leader, He-Man, the most powerful mutant in the universe, like we just said, Donatello, heroic turtle at arms, and Man-at-Arms, weapons master in a half shell. How come he doesn't get heroic in his name? Now that I think about it. Anyway, let's open this sucker up. We've got his mini comic and his little informational sheet. I'm gonna have to take a look. I think this is the same coloring as the heroic side, but it would also be cool if they actually did do a separate set of colorings for the villain side. And we take a look at the comic book here. We have He-Man going up against Raphael, Michelangelo, Tila, Man-at-Arms, Leonardo, and Donatello. By the power of pizza. And we see He-Man is in the room talking to Man-at-Arms, who's working on some equipment. Ramman and Mossman are with him when Tila and Roboto come running in because they've detected something on their paradimensional alarm. Which I'm going to assume the reason why they have a paradimensional alarm has something to do with Hordak and Eternia. So He-Man, Mossman, and Ramman go running out. He-Man atop Battlecat, and Mossman and Ramman on Stridor. Which leads me to wonder if the Ramman figure could actually fit on Stridor, now that I think about it. Seems kind of unlikely. After a few days, with no hearing from the team that went out, Tila and Man-at-Arms decide that they need to investigate. As they do so, they run into a mutated version of Trapjaw known as Mousejaw. Oh, Roboto's with them too. Sorry, forgot about him. So Mousejaw attacks with his Mouser army, which again is very disappointing that Mousejaw did not come with a bunch of extra Mousers. Maybe they'll make a Mouser pack, but I doubt it. So our three heroes start blowing apart Mousers, and they just keep getting surrounded, but they're still fighting. And the Mousers just seem to be reproducing like rabbits. When a nunchuck comes through and destroys one of the Mousers, and we see the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles from their animated series fighting with them. We're the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles at your service. Cowabunga, Michelangelo will say. Guys, I don't think we're on Earth anymore, Donatello replies. Mikey, get back here. We've got mousers everywhere. And Raphael, just more for us to smash, Leo. But they fight, and thanks to Roboto scanning and finding out that Mousejaw has the same weaknesses as Trapjaw, which I don't know why that would matter or why you would assume otherwise. I mean, different head and a different arm. That's about it. Anyway, Keela beats the crap out of Mousejaw, and they win the day. The Turtles mentioned that it looks like Stockman's tech, which seems kind of weird. Actually, I'm still kind of wondering how they mutated Trapjaw like that. Did they throw him in a vat of ooze with a mouser? So Michelangelo, always hungry for pizza, mentions that as we go ahead, and we have some introductions between Man-at-Arms and the Turtles. Man-at-Arms wondering what part of Eternia they come from. The Turtles saying they come from New York. Man-at-Arms not knowing what New York is. And also, we got some surprise from either Michelangelo or Raphael as to them not freaking out over seeing giant talking turtles. And the other one replies with, maybe he's never seen a turtle. But they do find some leftover ooze residue and decide that it's probably in their best interest to go ahead and team up. And it almost looks like, is Tila using magic here in the bottom corner, or is she using some kind of levitating ray? Then we have what I believe is supposed to be a flashback in Dimension X, where Krang and Shredder have found Castle Grayskull and wish to use its power to defeat the blasted turtles. And the turtles show up because they're like, no way, dude, we're not going to let you do anything. And there's a big explosion, and I'm assuming it transports everybody to Eternia. And there may have been a time differential since, Krang was able to mutate the Trapjaw before the turtles even showed up, or the turtles have been wandering around the forest for quite a while. Who knows? The Turtles and Man-at-Arms, most likely Donatello and Man-at-Arms, I should say, work together to design special armor to help them fight against this new menace of mutagen, even though they've only actually come across one mutated person thus far. But it gives us a new Tila, and her costume looks pretty cool, and I really can't wait for that figure. Does anybody notice that Tila is probably my favorite character in MOTU? That's why I hate Revelations so much. Anyway, they chow down on some pizza, which I have mentioned before. I don't know why, if Queen Marlena is supposed to be from Earth, she did not did not direct the cook on how to make a pizza so that they could have it there. Seems like a silly mistake on her part. But we get to see Krang in his modified, mutated, robotic shell that looks like some kind of orc. And we see Shredder wearing some new armor as well, as they have Leatherhead pull out their new mutant that they have created. And Skeletor is happy to have done this one because he now controls He-Man, the most powerful mutant in the universe, who's having a really bad hair day. And on the back, we have the cross sell again with Leonardo, He-Man, Donatello, and Man-at-Arms. And Wave 2. Actually, Wave 2 is sitting in my pile of loot at Big Bad Toy Store, and I'm just waiting to see if any other February items release before I have them shipped. So, let's get He-Man out of here, shall we? So I will start out by mentioning that He-Man comes with the same mace that came with the Classics version of Spikor, and also the Faker John Cena from the Masters of the WWE Universe. Don't let yourself ever be fooled into thinking that they won't reuse stuff over and over again until it gets ridiculous. He-Man himself is a little bit more interesting of a character to look at. Before we go into articulation, he has different arms and hands than the other Origins figures. I believe, but I cannot yet confirm, that these are actually from the Andre the Giant figure that they made for Masters of the WWE Universe. And I believe they are supposed to be putting out a Andre the Giant with the WWE Superstars line as well. And I have the one, and I will probably buy the other one, if for no other reason than I'm a fan of the Princess Bride, and he's in the Princess Bride. Though I have not actually bought any figures for the Princess Bride because I haven't really liked any of them. Dude, Mattel, license the Princess Bride and do them in origin style. Please. That would be awesome. That's what I want to see more of. I want to see them license more lines and just make them Masters of the Universe compatible. That would be glorious. Sorry. Anyway, articulation wise, he's got the articulated headband knot, so it can move around. The head is on the standard Origins kind of ball joint, so we can move it all around, up, down, spin. Of course, the headband can get in the way, but you can also put it up kind of ridiculously like that and spin it around. He's sporting a very messy version of his regular kind of page boy haircut. Although, I will say, if you got rid of the headband here and just repainted this, I think that would be a great hairdo for He-Man, period, honestly. He's also got a unique face sculpt for He-Man. Very angry looking. Kind of classic turtle toys where one side of the mouth is bigger than the other. So showing off more teeth and kind of a snarl. But also, they have his vein, a lot of his veins in this blue. The plastic itself is actually a semi-transparent bluish purple color. Again, highlighted by the little veins there. So articulation wise, the Andre the Giant arms can go up yay far, can go down yay far. We can spin it around and it'll pop itself off. I don't know if that's because the arm is so big and this does look like a standard MOTU body. I assume the Andre the Giant figure has a larger body, so it's very possible that it's because this is as small as it is, that this arm doesn't quite fit in there properly once you start moving it around. Like, it looks fine there, but as soon as you start turning it, it wants to kind of pop out. So, but it also may have just been from the harness. We have the elbow joint. It's a hinge, and there is, of course, a peg in there so it can do a little spin. It is less than 90 degrees. The armband or wristband here with the spikes here is a separate piece altogether and spins around freely. The hand, I'm assuming, which is also bigger than the standard MOTU male hand, is also probably Andre the Giant's, if the arm is. So you can... I know I'm cheating. So it's got the in and out hinge as well. But we can take the armband off if we want also. We can put it back in. We have a 360-degree spin. His spiked belt is a separate piece from his regular loincloth with a standard loincloth piece underneath. He-Man can kick up yay far. He can kick back yay far. He can kick out. He's got the knee joint that bends at the just under 90. Forward. We have a twist at the knee, and we of course have the twist at the boot cut. We also have a hinge at the ankle and the pivot, so we can spin it around on the peg. One thing to note here is that he does come with a unique foot part here where his toes have broken through the end of the boots, making it sound like perhaps his toes have gotten bigger. I know that they're trying to do that just for the little bit of difference there, but I think they probably should have done it on the other side just not so much that needs to match, but because toes are so wide here, but they're so narrow over here. And it just doesn't look right. Then again, definitely see stories of women who wear the weird pizza cut like toe shoes and, have toes that barely fit in there. His harness is, of course, a unique piece also. And sadly, they did not continue the veininess on the rest of the chest, which I think would have been cool to have some more sculpting but more deco in here with more of these little lightning veins of blue. So that would have actually looked really cool, I think, in my opinion. Because actually, honestly, I would have liked to have seen more of these veins all over his body just to show that power of the mutagen going through him. He's got another one of those chest harnesses that have like the double kind of, where it's just like the two in there and there's no clickety nubs. However, it also does make this kind of a pain in the butt to put on. But there we go. I'm afraid I'm going to leave fingernail marks in these things when I try to do these ones. So that gives us our Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles He-Man crossover figure. I do think he's pretty cool looking. I like him overall. I didn't think I would, to be perfectly honest, but I think he's a good purchase. If I'm being honest, the only figure so far that I've been disappointed in is Man-at-Arms and, well, Leonardo's swords. But that's a whole separate story. Let me know if you're thinking about picking up this figure and what you think of him overall. And then please feel free to like, comment, subscribe. Peace and love.